This is the landing page of our WordPress theme. The theme has 9 home pages. Here we can see plugins that come bundled in with the theme for free. One of them is this BMI calculator. The other is the timetable plugin, also included for free. Here you can see a selection of pre-made inner pages. The homepage we're going to use for our site is the first one, which is the main homepage. This is what the homepage looks like in the demo. The page includes images with descriptions and calls to action. There are testimonials, event section, icons with text, personal BMI calculator, timetable, team section, and in the bottom you'll find the process bar and clients. Now I'll import the demo, so let's see how it turns out. I want to import all the content, so I will select all in the import options in the drop-down menu and click on import. Now let's wait for a couple of moments. Once the import is done, we'll check how it looks on our website. Click on the home icon in the upper left corner and select Visit Site to go to your site's homepage. Let's try out the slider. All the slides are in their place. Now let's scroll down. We'll check if the sections with images, events, and icons look like they are supposed to. It appears that everything imported well except for this timetable here, so we'll get back to that later. Now let's scroll back to the top. Once you run a quick check to see if the imported theme looks the way it's supposed to, go back to the backend. You'll find all the pages of your site here in the Pages section. Now I'll search for the main home. You'll notice that it's labeled as the front page, which means it's the site's homepage. If you want to select another page as your front page, go to Settings, click on Reading, and in the Homepage drop-down menu, choose the page you want. I will keep Main Home as the homepage. Now let's go back to the homepage. This entire upper section is called a header. It consists of the site's logo you can see on the left, and the menu or navigation and some widgets. If you want your logo to look right, you need to upload it in twice the displayed size, otherwise it won't be displayed properly. You can upload your logo here in the Prowess options in the Logo section. You'll have to upload several types of your logo, the one that's going to be default, followed by dark skin logo, light, sticky, and mobile phone logo. I will now upload all of them. When it comes to logos, it's important to pay attention to their size and purpose. Our default logo is 268 by 38 pixels. Dark logo is the logo that appears on the light backgrounds. Light logo will appear on the dark backgrounds if they appear in some sections of your site. Sticky logo is dark because sticky headers come with a light background. Mobile logo looks like the default logo because mobile menu has a light background. Don't forget to click on the Save Changes button after every edit. Now let's see if the logo has been changed. You can see our new logo here. The next thing we'll change is the theme's main color. I want it to be green, like the color you can see next to our logo. We'll navigate to Prowess options, also called General options, and find First Main Color options. Set the color manually or enter the hex code and save changes. Refresh the page to check for edits. The next thing we'll change is the menu, since this is the default menu from the theme, which I want to replace with something new. In the dashboard, go to Appearance Menus. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of these settings and delete it. To create a new one, click on Create a New Menu. Name it, for instance, My Menu, and click on Create Menu. It's important to check here to select this menu as the main navigation and mobile navigation. In this tab, you'll see all the pages of your website. Click on the main home to add it to the menu. Since I want to remain main home to home, I'll change the name in the navigation label. I'm also adding the About Us page, the timetable page, contact, and shop. Now let's save the menu, and here we have a new menu. The next thing I want to do is turn off this toolbar. You'll do this by clicking on the admin button in the upper right corner and unmark the checkbox next to Show Toolbar when viewing the site. Scroll down and click on Update Profile. Let's go to the main page to see whether changes took effect. As you can see, there is no toolbar. This type of header is the standard header, where the menu takes up the right side and the logo goes left. We can change the header in Theme Options in the Header section. In this theme, you can choose between Minimal Header, Standard Header, which is the current one, and Vertical Header. Let's pick the Minimal Header as default and save changes. We'll go back to the live site and refresh the page. Now there is no menu. There is only a logo and a burger icon that opens the menu. I'll return it to standard settings. The next thing you can choose is header behavior, what it does as the user scrolls the page. It can be fixed on scroll, show no behavior, show as you scroll up, or show as you scroll both up and down, which is what it's currently set to do, so I'll leave it. Header skin is set to light, so we'll keep it that way. You can choose whether you want to have a top bar or not, and I'll keep it as it is. The next thing you choose is whether the menu will be in grid or not. The current one is in the grid, and here is how it looks like. Now I'll show you a header that is not in grid. Save changes and refresh the live site to see them. You can see the menu goes full width without the grid. In the grid settings, you can change grid background color and transparency, as well as area border, shadow, and border color. The background transparency value of 0 means that the menu is not transparent. Next, you can add a shadow and border to your menu. You can change the height or add padding to the left and right side. The default position for the menu is right. You can change it and move it to the left or center. The following settings are for the vertical area style and full screen menu in case you want to use it. So now everything is set, at least regarding the options we need at the moment. The next thing we're going to show you are these widgets. Let me refresh the page because we reverted the menu to grid layout. These widgets were added using the Appearance widget settings in the dashboard. All the widgets you may want to add are located on the left side. Adding them is very simple. Just drag them from the left side of the screen to one of the available widget areas on the right side of the screen. The widget area we need for now is called the Header Widget Menu area. It already contains these 3 widgets that are currently located in the header of our homepage. The first widget is the Search button. You can edit it by clicking on Select Search Opener in the widget settings. If you want to keep this style, don't make any changes to icon color, icon hover color, or margin. Now let's see our search widget in action. A simple click on the search button opens a full screen search form. The second widget you can see is a shopping cart. When you go to the settings in the dashboard, you'll see its options are in the drop-down cart widget panel. Here we can only change the cart's margins. We suggest you keep this widget if you're planning to add an online shop to your website. Finally, there is the Select Side Area Opener widget. In this Settings tab, you can change the icon color, hover color, and margin, or add Side Area Opener title if you want. Now let's see this widget in action. When you click on the burger icon on your homepage, you will see a side area. This side area also consists of widgets. Settings for side area widgets are in the Side Area tab in the Widget settings. The first one is the Image widget. In this case, it is our logo. We'll replace this picture with a new logo image and click on Save. Now let's refresh the page to see if the edits took effect. On the live site, click on the burger icon to open our new side area. It looks all right. The next thing you may want to change is the text below the image. I'll keep it as it is. Then you can edit social icons widgets. Here's how they look on our live site. You can still see the default theme color as we hover over those icons, so let's make a few edits there. You can change the color manually or enter the hex code for the exact color you want. Since you have to repeat the process for each icon, there is one way to make things quicker and easier. Copy the hex code from the first icon tab. There are quite a few tabs here, so make sure you don't skip any of them. And paste it to the tabs belonging to the following icons. Don't forget to save the changes before you switch between tabs. We will use this specific yellow color for all the icons in our theme. Now we'll refresh the page to see how our new hover color looks. Everything seems fine, so we'll move on. In the back end, we'll close the tabs we don't need anymore. The next thing we will focus on is the separator widget. Maybe you haven't noticed it right away, but if you pay attention, you can see it here separating icons in the side area. Below, there is another text widget. There is no additional text as this widget has only a title. We'll keep it this way. Just like the regular social icons, these icons are edited individually. Using these options, you can change the icon pack you want to use, the icon itself, and the link to your social media page. In the target bar, you can choose if your social media profile will open in the existing or new browser window. Finally, you can edit the icon size, color, and hover color. I'll just change the hover color, but I'll keep everything else the way it is. Repeat this process for every social media icon you have or want to add. There are quite a few tabs here, so make sure you don't skip any of them as you're editing. Now let's inspect our edits on the live site. You can see the hover color on the icons changed as we wanted. Now we're moving on from the side area to the back end of our actual page. Navigate to Pages in your admin area. You can select a specific page from the list or find it using the search option. Find the main home and click on it to open the backend editor. The entire page was built using VP Bakery Page Builder. We recommend that you keep the existing full width template so you can get creative with various elements and be able to place them across the width of the entire page. Another note, all of the general options we've been exploring previously can also be edited on the page itself. The page options will override the general options. But if you don't want to change anything here, the page will behave based on the defined general settings. When it comes to page content, here's what you need to know. Each section is built as a single row. The row is the basic shortcode into which we add all other shortcodes. Now let's dig deeper. This is the first row with the settings you can access by clicking on this pencil icon. Here you can edit various settings such as the color, background, content width, etc. There aren't any changes added to this row, save for the Revolution Slider plugin, which was inserted as a shortcode. Here you can find its own settings. In the Revolution Slider drop-down menu, you can choose which slider you would like to use. We can see what the Revolution Slider looks like at the top of our homepage. Now let's explore some more possibilities with Revolution Slider. For example, we can create a new slider. Start by navigating to the left side of the screen and clicking on Slider Revolution. Our slider is called Main Home. We need to click here on the pencil icon to edit it. Let's first remove this image. Just right-click on it and select Delete. I'll also delete the 2K18 image and the semi-transparent triangle behind the text. We will replace the text later on. For now, let's save our changes and check how the first edits look on the live site. As you can see, what's left is text and the button. We'll keep them, but we'll delete these grid lines. You can remove them by navigating to Row Settings. Click on Select Settings tab and choose No Grid Lines in the drop-down menu under Grid Lines Style. We don't need these lines since our slider will have a background, so they wouldn't even be visible. Now let's save changes, update, and refresh our live site to see if the edits are here. There are no more grid lines here. We'll delete the remaining 2 slides because we want to keep only one image. Go to the Slides tab and click on the trash icon next to the belonging slide in the drop-down menu. I will delete the second and the third one. Save the changes and check the live site. Now we only have one slide. We'll continue by adding the background. Click on the Slide Options icon on the right side of the screen. It will open the tab where we'll find the Type option. Here we'll select Image. This opens a new set of options where we'll click on the Media Library to upload the background image. And it's done. Another important note: if you want the slider to be full screen like this one, you have to make sure that the image size is at least 1920 pixels by 1100 pixels. For the slider layout settings, click on the Module General Options icon and select Layout. The slider type is currently selected. I'm going to choose Scene since I will only be having one slide. Then you can move on to Sizing options. We'll go with Full Screen. Let's save these settings before we proceed. The next thing we'll change is the text that's part of our slider. Just click on the text area on the slider image and it will unroll the settings in the sidebar. We'll keep the current style and we'll just change the text. Let's save the changes and go to the live site to see what our latest edits look like. Now we have a new background and new text. The next thing we'll focus on is the behavior of our background. We don't want it to move in sync with the rest of the page content as we scroll. We'll add a little bit of dynamic to our page by incorporating the parallax effect. Go back to Slide Options and select On Scroll. It is currently set to No Parallax. In the Parallax and 3D settings, we'll select the level 7 or 35%. Save the settings and go back to the live site. Refresh the main page. This is how the parallax effect looks in action when we scroll. The next thing we'll address is the animation for this text here. Click on the text you want to edit. Select Animations options in the sidebar. In the basic settings, the animation start is set to 600 milliseconds after the page loading. We will change it to 300. We also want to increase the animation duration to 800 milliseconds. Once you're done, save the new settings. As for the button, it is added in form of a shortcode. This is the same shortcode used throughout the theme, so it inherits the same style as everywhere else. Here, I want to set it to start at 400 milliseconds. Also, we'll edit the duration to 800 milliseconds. Let's save these changes. Now we'll check what we did on the live site. Wait a couple of moments as you refresh the page. And we're done with the first section. We're moving on to the next section of our homepage. This section too is created using a single row, but it has 3 columns with 3 info boxes. By default, a row has 1 column, as you can see here above our first row with the Revolution slider shortcode. You can change these settings as we did in the second row by clicking on Custom Settings in the toolbar and manually entering the number of columns and their size value. Each column contains the info box shortcode. Click on the pencil icon in the green pop-up window in the column. It will open the info box settings. Here you will find some custom icons in the PNG format, and here they are on the live site. There are also options to change the title, add text that displays on hover. This is the text you can see here. And edit the Read More button that has its own link and color. You can set up the color in the Design Options tab by entering the hex code. In the same tab, you can also change the background image for the info box, so let's try it. Upload the image you want from the media library, add the file and set the image. Click on Save Changes and update the entire page. Wait a little bit to save all the edits. Now we have a new image and a button with a new color. Now we'll repeat this course of action for the other two info boxes. When you finish, update the page and check if the changes look right on the live site. We have our new images here and all three of our buttons are green. The following two sections you can see on the home page were built in a single row. Now this is something we haven't tried so far. The first section of this row is here, containing a video button and text, and the second one is below. They were built using the Inner Rows option. Pay attention, you can see the main row, and here you can see the toolbar for the inner row. The settings for the inner row are essentially the same as the settings for regular main rows. Another thing we have here are these grid lines you can see on the live site. You can enable grid lines by navigating to the row settings in the upper right corner of the main row. Open the Select Settings tab and choose Parallax Gridline Dual in the drop-down menu under Gridline Style. Another detail we have here is this background image. You'll add it in the same main row settings. Go to Select Settings and find the Parallax Background Image option. The next section was built using the Elements Holder. It incorporates the Elements Holder shortcode that consists of two columns. Just click on the shortcode button in the row's upper left corner to open the settings and select the desired number of columns. In this case, it's 2. It is much easier to build a section this way than using the row. Every Elements Holder has its Elements Holder item settings. On the live site, here is one Elements Holder item, and here is the other. We can add any shortcode to an Element Holder item. Here we added a video button shortcode to the left column. It contains a link to the video and a background image, which will change. We will upload an image from the image library. Select the file and set image. The next thing you can change is the play button color. We will leave it at default white color. You can change the size, add your own play button image in the PNG format, and finally there is an option to add a hover image. We'll leave everything the way it is. Update the entire page and refresh the live site. Now we have a new image. The second column contains 3 shortcodes. The first shortcode is section title. It's this number you can see right here. It was added as a title number. This text here was added as a title and we will edit it now. We will change the title from the default one to Run Fast Like the Wolves, while the description text you can see in this part of the live site will remain the same. In the Title Style tab, you can change the color and the line break. With the current settings, you can see that the title text will break to the next row after the third word. You can also select the position of the second line break and even disable line breaks for smaller screens. In the Title Number Style tab, there's a possibility to change the style of this number in the background or give it a negative position. This option is for pushing the title number down, but we'll leave it as it is. Finally, you can change the text style. Select one of the headings or keep the paragraph tag as we did. There are options to switch up the text font size, line height, font height, as well as the text top margin. Save changes and update. And let's check what we've done so far. Now the only thing left to change is this button here. This button was added as a button shortcode. In the button settings, you can choose between 3 types. Here's what the outline type would look like. Wait for the page to update. Outline means it has a border around the call to action. Go back to the backend and scroll to button settings. Here's another type, simple button, and let's see what this one looks like. Update and go to the live site. It has no outline or background, it's just text. Now we'll switch back to solid button type we initially had. Let's go back to the backend. Scroll to the row we need and open the button settings. We'll set the size to small and leave the existing text. There's also the option to change the link and choose whether we want it to open in the same window or in a new one. We'll leave ion icons as the icon pack and the right arrow as the icon. Here's what it looks like on the live site. Among design options, you can play with button color, hover color, and background color. There are options to change font size, font weight, adjust margin, and set up button padding. We'll leave everything as it is. Update the page and check the live site. Everything looks fine, so we will move on to the next section. Let's analyze its structure. This section was also built using Elements Holder with 2 Elements Holder items. Each item takes up 1 column. Here we have a left and a right column. The left column contains the same shortcodes we have in the previous section's right column, so we won't go into greater detail for this item. The second column is comprised of the single image shortcode. Now let's replace the image. We'll go to the media library and upload the image we want. Don't forget that this image needs to be saved and uploaded in PNG format in order to get a transparent background. We'll now show why the background needs to be transparent. This is the new image and it has been saved in PNG format so you can see these grid lines behind. That's it concerning these 2 sections. The next section is testimonials. The background image you can see is a parallax image inserted into row settings. Let's go to the backend, scroll down, and open the row settings for this section. In the Select Settings tab, click on the background image to delete the existing and upload a new background image. If you want the parallax effect to work right, the image size has to be at least 1920 pixels by 1000 pixels. Save changes. The next shortcode is testimonials, but if we want to change it, we have to create testimonials singles. You will find them in the dashboard menu. Click on the Prowess Testimonial settings and select Prowess Testimonials. You'll see the list of current testimonial singles. If you want to change them, you need to click on the specific testimonial. In this window, you can change the text, author's name and position, as well as a testimonial title. To add a new testimonial, go to Add New, where you'll insert all the details we've just listed, the text, the author, and so on. Don't forget to assign it a category. You can add any title you want. The name doesn't matter since this title isn't displayed anywhere. We will name it Testimonials 3. Now click on Publish. For any changes to take effect, you have to update the main homepage. Here we can also choose the skin. We will leave it on light since this background is dark and we want our letters to be light. Now we'll update and move on to the live site to inspect the latest edits. You can see the parallax effect in action in our testimonials background. There are 3 testimonials, but we want to turn off this navigation, so we'll return to the testimonial settings and go to Slider Settings tab. You have an option to enable slider loop, which means that your slider will list testimonials in a continuous loop. Autoplay means that your slider will automatically start listing testimonials as soon as the page loads. There is also an option to change the default duration of the slide. The given value is 5000 milliseconds. You can also edit the duration of the slider animation. Here it is set to 600. In this menu, you can enable or disable slider navigation arrows. We will turn them off. Finally, there's a possibility to turn on the slider pagination. We'll go without it. Save the changes and refresh the live site to see what your new testimonial section looks like now. The next homepage section is this text. It comprises 1 row. This is section title with a set background color. We talked about it a few minutes ago. In the background color options, set the color manually or enter the hex code. We will leave the color as it is. What we are going to change here are the parallax grid lines, also set through row settings. In the grid lines style dropdown, select parallax grid line dual. Save changes and update. Here's what these grid lines look like on the live site. The following section is actually an event list shortcode that consists of event singles. We want these images and text to be different, so I will edit the existing event single. Navigate to the dashboard menu, go to Events, and click on All Events. This will open the list of event singles. Click on the one you want to edit or click on Add New if you want to create a new event. The first thing we'll set is the option to build the event single using VP Bakery Page Builder. What we have here at the moment is the classic editor, which isn't simple to use. To incorporate VP Bakery into this process, let's go back to the menu and find VP Bakery Page Builder. Click on Role Manager Settings and instead of Pages Only, select Custom option in the Post Types settings. We will select all types of posts and save changes. This will enable us to build all post types, including event singles, using VP Bakery. Go back to the event single page and refresh it. As you can see, we now have the option to edit the page using VP Bakery. We'll start by changing the name of our event. If you're doing this, don't forget to change the URL. On the right side, you can see the categories. You can add new categories by navigating to Categories section in the menu under Events. Just give your category a name, click on the Add New Category button, and save the changes. When you update the event page, you'll see the new category in the list on the right side. Let's select one of these categories and update the page. Now let's check the entire event single page on the live site. There is a title image and the title. The header remains the same as the home page header. This is a featured image. This is the event title, its description, and finally the additional information with icons. Below you'll find information about the trainer. Notice here that some of these elements are using the main theme color from general options, while some others, for example the icons, did not. We have to fine-tune these details manually. On the right side, we have a sidebar with info about the trainer, categories, and recent posts. Everything in the sidebar is set using the widgets. We'll get to that later. The first thing we'll change now is this title image here. Let's go to the backend to upload our own image. To find these settings, you'll have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page until you find the Select Title section. Under Show Title Area, we'll keep the default settings. Title area type and grid settings for title area will also remain default. The title area height is set to 555 pixels. If you don't have a background image, here you can set a background color. We will upload a new background image from the media library. This image has a parallax effect, so its size is 1920 pixels by 1000 pixels. This is the minimum size for a functional parallax effect, even though the image on the page maintains the height of 555 pixels. Let's wait for the backend page update and go to the live site to examine the changes we've just made. Next, let's replace this featured image. Go back to your page backend and here in the right portion you will find the featured image setting. Click on Remove Featured Image. This will create an option Set Featured Image. Click on it and upload the image from the media library. Its dimensions should ideally be 1300 pixels by 700 pixels. This size is ideal because of the grid. It will allow your image to be the same width as the content. After the upload, click on Set Featured Image, update the entire page, and check the live site. This image will later appear on the list on our homepage in the Event section. To edit the description, click on the text block settings. We'll keep everything here as it is. The next thing we'll change is the color of these icons here. We want them to be green. Go to the icon list item settings and enter the right hex code under the icon color option. Another thing you can change is the icon list bottom margin. It's currently set to 15 pixels. There are also options to change the icon pack, the icon, and icon size. Finally, you can play with title, title size, title color, and title left padding, which is the space between the icon and title. Let's save changes and repeat the process for each icon. Update the page and let's look at our live page. You can see that all the icons are now green. The next thing we're changing is this text color. This text was also inserted as a text block, so we will go to text block settings. The text editing mode, which you access through this tab, is the easiest way to change the color. Just paste the hex code here. Save changes, update the page, and check the live site. Now we'll change the trainer info. This section was built using the elements holder with 2 columns. Let's start by editing the first column that consists of single image item or shortcode. Open the single image, click on the image, and select the image you want to upload from your computer. The image dimensions should be 800 by 759 pixels. Save the changes. Now open the text block settings. There we will change the name of our trainer from Amanda Snow to Donald Gray and save the edits. In the text block below, you can change the description. Update the page, wait a couple of moments for changes to take effect, and refresh the live site. Additionally, you can edit the timetable event info by clicking on the green pop-up window here in this shortcode. You can change the label, which can be anything you want, not necessarily the age. Just set the value for your desired label. In this case, it's how old the trainer is. Now we'll update the page and refresh the live site. So we have changed everything except for this sidebar here. Like we said, the sidebar is edited using widgets. In your menu, go to Appearance and select Widgets. You'll find the settings you need in the Sidebar Event widget area. To enable sidebar on your page, if you don't have it, go back to the event page and scroll until you find Select Sidebar tab. Here you can select the sidebar layout, how much space your sidebar will take on the page. We selected 1/4 right. The other option is to choose the widget area, or more precisely, which sidebar you want to display. The default one is the event, and that's the one we need. There are also other custom options like WooCommerce and Shop Custom Widget, but we are going to leave it at default. Now let's take a look at the widgets in this widget area. The first thing is the text widget where we put our title. Here I will simply change the name of the trainer, and here I'll change the image. The easiest way to edit the image is to use text editing mode, because here we have a margin we don't want to create from scratch. So in your dashboard menu, find Media and click on Add New. Choose Select Files and upload the image from your computer. Once you upload it, click on the image. It will open a window with settings where you'll find a copy link option. Paste this link to the text widget in place of the old link. Click on the Visual tab to see a preview. You can change this text here. Save the changes and refresh the live site. Here's our new title and the new image. Below this widget, you'll find the separator widget. It was included because there is no other way to create this space here, so this widget serves as sort of invisible separator. The only thing you need to edit in this widget is its bottom margin that actually creates the empty space. We'll leave it at 13 pixels. The following widget is Categories. These are all the categories we have for the events. You can leave it as it is or delete it. This widget is once again followed by a separator. Here we have the Select Blog List widget, which shows these latest blog posts right here. There are numerous options here. You can change its title, choose the list type, simple or minimal. Let's see what the minimal one looks like. We will save the changes in the backend and refresh the live page. You can only see the headlines and publishing dates. We will revert it to the simple type. The next setting refers to the number of posts that are going to be displayed on this list. You can set up the space between items. We will stick with normal. Another thing you can tweak is order in which your posts will line up. And there is also an option to display a specific category of posts. In our case, it's lifestyle. The title tag is another thing you can change. This is the size of the title you can see here. Finally, you can choose title text transform, choosing between all uppercase and all lowercase letters. Click on Save. The next widget is the Twitter widget. In order to display the Twitter feed in the widget, you need to connect your Twitter account with WordPress. You'll do that by navigating to the Prowess options and selecting Social Networks. Scroll until you find the Twitter section. Click on Connect with Twitter button. In order for this to actually work, you have to be logged into your Twitter account. Once you do it, click on the Authorize App button and the page will automatically redirect back to our backend. Finalize it by saving the changes. Let's refresh the live site and wait a couple of moments for the widget to appear. Once we add this widget, we have a new set of options such as title, which we skipped, type, which can be standard or slider, in case we're displaying more than one tweet. There are also settings for the number of displayed tweets, which we'll leave at 1. You can also choose whether the widget will display the Twitter icon. If we go with no, you'll simply delete this small icon. Doesn't look too good, so we will revert to the previous settings. Save the settings. The following widget is once again the simple separator widget for adding some space. Finally, there's an archive widget. It looks like this on the live site. You can leave it as it is or delete the widget altogether. Okay, this is it concerning the event single page and the part of the page we need at the moment. You can repeat this process for every event single page you need. Let's close all of these tabs and go back to the main home backend. I will later create additional event singles so they can be displayed properly. Update the page and go down to the event list shortcode. Click on the event list settings and first select the number of events you want to display on your page. We're going to display 4 of them. Skin is dark by default. You can change the skin in the event list settings if you'd rather go with light skin. There are also options to set the number of columns. We will set it to 2. You can also select to display events from one category. Start typing the category slug in this box and it will autocomplete. You can also handpick the events you want to display by entering their IDs. The following option allows you to display the events in a specific order. Our events will be listed by date. Finally, you can choose between ascending and descending order for this kind of sorting. In the Content Layout tab, you can choose whether or not you want to display the category. The same goes for excerpts from your event descriptions. You can also set their length. Now let's see what it looks like when we update the page. Since we didn't specify a category, it will display all the events we have. In fact, the first 4. Here's the live page. This is one event single, this is the second one, this is the third, and this is the 4th. This is the featured image we have previously added. You can see how it's cropped here. This is the title, this is the category that in the shortcode settings we decided to enable, and this is the excerpt we have limited to 75 characters. Finally, this is the Read More button that leads to our event single page. That's it for this event list. The next section here is made using icons with text, but pay attention. These 2 sections were built in 2 separate rows. Let's go back to backend to see how it looks. Scroll down to find it. This is one row containing the section title, and this is the other row divided into 4 columns incorporating icons with text shortcodes. Here are the icon with text settings, where you can choose between 3 types of icons. You have the icon left from text, the next one is icon left from title, and the one we are currently using is the icon top. Let's see what the icon left from text looks like. Update the page, wait a couple of moments, and go to the live site to see the changes. Obviously, it is not a good fit for our current settings, so we will set it back to the icon top type we previously had. Open the icon with text settings and in the type section select icon top. Soon we'll show you its appearance on the live site. You have the option of going with one of the available icon packs here in the drop-down. The actual icons are set here in this drop-down below, but we decided to upload our own custom icons that you can add here. Don't forget to save and upload them in the PNG format. Here you can change the title, which looks like this on our live site. Here you can edit the text. It's this text right here on the live site. Finally, here you will add a link. You can choose whether clicking on the icon will open this link in a new window or in the same window. In the icon settings tab, you can play with icon types such as normal, circle, and square. There are settings for icon size from tiny to very large. We went with medium. Keep in mind that icon size change only works for available icon packs, not for custom image icons. The settings for the custom icon size can be found right below. Here are the settings for shape size, which are not relevant to our current setup. If you're going with one of the icon packs, here you can set the icon color and the icon hover color, as well as the icon animation, which we're not going to do. Finally, in the text settings tab, you can set the title tag. We'll go with default. Here are title color settings, and here you'll find settings for title top margin. This is the space between the title and icon. Our margin is negative because the default one was too big. Here you can change the text color and the top margin, the space between the title and text. Save changes and update the page. Wait a couple of moments. Here's what our icons with text look like. The following section is the BMI or the body mass index calculator. Let's go to the backend and scroll down until we find its row settings. This row also contains a shortcode. In this case, Prowess BMI calculator form. If you leave the settings as they are, this is what it will look like. On the left side, you have a chart, while the right side contains a BMI form. Here you can set up whether you want to display the BMI chart or not. We will go with no. We will save these settings, update the page, wait a little bit, and then we'll go back to the live site and refresh the page. Here's how it will look on our live site. There is just the form now. It looks a bit empty, so we will turn it back on. Go back to the backend page and scroll down to the calculator row. Revert to the previous display settings. The next setting is the skin of this form. You can choose between without border and default. We went with the default. Save the changes, update the page, and go back to the live site. Refresh the page to see the default calculator skin. The chart no longer has little boxes. We prefer the old settings, so we'll revert back to them. Go to the backend, scroll down to the calculator row, and select the without border option in the skin menu. Here we can change the title for our BMI chart. It's this title you can see here. You can give it a different name. You can also change the form title, this one right here, while the form description can be edited in this box, and here's what it looks like on live site. In general, we recommend you don't change these settings except for the description and minor styling details. Update the page and wait a little bit. While we're at this section, you may have noticed that the background color here is not actually white. If you want to change it, which we won't, you can do it in the row settings. Click on the pencil icon and go to Select Settings tab. In the background color section, you can set the color manually or use the hex code. That's it concerning this section. The following section is the class's timetable. This timetable does not display all the hours because we haven't entered them. You can set them in the Events single. Go to Events and select All Events. Click on the single event page. Before we enter the hours, we will scroll to the options section and set the timetable box text color. We will change it to our main green color by entering its hex code. Then we'll move on to the event hours section. Select the day in the timetable column, then set the start hour and the end hour of your training. In the description to text box, we will enter the name of the trainer. In the tooltip section, we will add training. Finish the entry by clicking on the Add button. Then you can add the rest of the timetable entries. Now that we added all the timetable entries we need, we will update the single page. Click on the single page's URL to check what this time entry looks like on the event single itself. When you scroll down, you'll see that these hours are located here. In the description, you'll find the date, the time, and the trainer's name. When you add the hours for all the events, go back to the main page backend and update it. Scroll down and find the timetable shortcode. Click on the timetable settings and in the events menu, choose the events you want to display in the timetable. We will select 4 of them. The marked entries will be displayed. In the event categories, choose the event categories you want to be displayed. Under the hour categories, leave all as the setting. Here are the columns. Let's dedicate a couple of moments to them. Go to the timetable columns settings in the menu and select all timetable columns. If you don't want a classical timetable from Monday to Sunday, here you can change the settings. Now let's go back to the main page backend and set the measure of time. You can choose between 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 1 hour. You can select filter style. We want tabs, and the other option is drop-downs. The filter kind can be by event category, or both. We will leave it at by event. In this box, you can edit the filter label, which is just a title. I will leave it as events. Below, you can select the time format. We will leave it as it is too. The rest of the settings will remain the same. I will only change the timetable box hover color. I will enter the hex code for our theme's default color. Let's click on Save Changes and then we'll update the page. Now let's refresh the live site and check our timetable. Here you can see all our timetable entries. If you add new entries as we've shown you, this will be displayed too. This is the event label we entered, and this is how the timetable is supposed to look like. What we didn't mention is that this title was added as a text block shortcode. Here in the text block settings, you cannot see the title because the text color is white. If we switch to text editing mode, you'll notice that our title is classes timetable, that the title tag is H2, and that this is the color code. Save changes and go back to the live site. The next thing we have is this background. It was added using row settings. Open these settings, click on Select Settings tab, and upload it as a background image here. Let's go back to the live site. That's it concerning the timetable. The next section we'll focus on is the theme. Here it is in the backend. The theme, the section title, and the button are all added using one row. And this here is the inner row divided into 2 columns. Section title is to the left, the button is to the right. Let's click on the button settings, and in the general options, we'll keep the existing settings, as we did with the previous buttons on this page. Another addition to this section is this background, which was inserted in the main row settings in the Select Settings tab. Click on the background image to add a background. In the gridline style, we will enable Parallax Gridline Dual. Save the changes and update the page. Then let's go to the live site and refresh the page. When we refresh the page, these 2 lines will appear. Next, we'll move on to the theme list shortcode in the backend. Just like with other lists so far, the theme list also requires theme singles. Navigate to the Prowess theme and select the Prowess theme. Here you'll see a list of theme singles. I will leave only 4 of them and delete the rest. Now I'll show you how to make a single theme page. If you're using the Add New option, the procedure is the same as editing the existing page. Here you'll add the name of the team member. Here you'll select the category which is created in the team categories. However, we only have one category and we don't need others since we'll have only 4 team singles and we will include all of them. Here you can add a description if you wish. You can remove this featured image that's displayed on the list. We'll upload a new one from our media library. This image should have at least 800 pixels in width, despite being smaller on the home page. We'll scroll to the next thing we need to change. All these other options we are scrolling through are drawn from the general settings, so we'll skip them. In the Select Team Member Info, you can manually enter the position. I'll leave it as CrossFit Expert. You can add a birth date, email, phone, address, education, and you can upload a resume. What we uploaded are these social media icons. In this box, you need to add a link to the trainer's Facebook profile. In the target box, you'll choose whether it will open in a new or existing window. Here you can select the icon pack. We will leave font elegant. That's it. Here you'll select the Facebook icon. Everything else follows the same settings for social icons. We have settings for Twitter icon and here are settings for the Instagram icon. Let's scroll up. Update the page. We entered the changes for all the team singles, so let's exit these tabs. Update the page so the singles can be displayed on your page. Let's scroll down and find the team list shortcode. Open the team list settings and choose the number of columns. Since I have 4 team singles, I'll leave 4. We can select the space between the items. Let's see what it looks like with no space. Save changes and update the page, and let's refresh the live site. This is how our team list looks like without spacing. You can see our new images. Now I will return to backend. Let's scroll down back to our team list shortcode. In the settings, we can adjust the number of team members per page. Here we can choose a category. You can turn it off since we don't have categories and want to display all the singles we have. You can list the team members' ID if you want to list specific singles and you can choose their order. In the Content Layout tab, we can determine whether our info will display on hover or below the image. I will choose below. In the General tab, I will revert the space between items to large. Let's save changes, update them, and let's go to the live site and refresh it. As you can see, the space between singles is back, and now the info is no longer on hover. It is now below the image. Since we prefer info on hover, we'll scroll back to the team singles in the backend. In Content Layout settings, we'll select info on hover. Let's update and go back to the live site. And refresh. Info on hover is back, and that's how we want it. So let's move on to the next section. This is the process section. Now let's go to the backend and scroll to find its settings. Okay, this part of the section was inserted as an inner row. This is section title and it looks like this on the live site. Here we have a shortcode named process item. Open the shortcode settings. Here we can choose whether our skin will be dark or light. We can set the number of process items. I will leave 4, you can choose between 3 or 4. Here we choose whether we'll show the numbers. These numbers you can see here in the center of the circles. Save changes and now we can add process items. In the process items settings, we can select icon packs, icon color, the initial and background color. And we can add icon image as we'll do right now. We'll upload it from our computer. Select the image, open it, set image, and wait. Here we can change the title and the description. You can see what they look like on live site. We can add a link and choose a target. Self means the link will open in the same window while blank opens a new window. A highlight item is set to no, but if I choose yes, one of the items will be highlighted like this. You can see that the third circle is larger than others. You can repeat the same process with every item. Once you're done, update the page. Wait for a couple of moments for settings to take effect and then go back to the live site. Refresh the live site and scroll to check your process section. Everything looks fine, so we will move on. The next and our last section is carousel shortcode. Let's go to backend and scroll all the way down. It was inserted as in a row, and in its settings we will choose the number of visible items. We'll leave it at 5. You can enable a slider loop, allowing it to show clients continuously. Enable slider autoplay if you want to carousel to start automatically as soon as your page loads. Here you can edit default slide duration and slide animation duration. You can see the default values below. You can enable or disable slider navigation, arrows, and pagination, and here you have rollover as the hover animation, which looks like this on our carousel. When you hover over the client items, which are actually their logos, the image appears to be rolling over. Now let's save the changes. Another thing I want to change is this background color. Go to the backend and open the row settings. In the Select Settings tab, we'll enter the hex code for the black color we want. We'll save changes and update the page. When we refresh the page, the new color will appear. Here it is. Let's scroll the backend for our next change. Client's carousel items settings will allow us to add images. We have 5 visible items. We added the same image for hover since we wanted to remain the same and keep the rollover animation. Here we'll choose the image size. We can change it or leave it as it is. We can also add links and choose if they'll open in the same or new window. Let's save the changes. I'll leave the images we already have. Update the changes and go to the live site. Refresh the page and check. What's left to set is the footer. The first thing we will change is this logo. What's important about the footer is that it consists of top, footer top is this upper section, and footer bottom, this. All these elements were added using a widget, but the general settings for the footer are located in the Prowess options under Footer. First, you can choose whether the footer will be in grid or not. Save changes and go back to the live site. Refresh the page to see what the footer looks like in grid. This is a bit too much, so we will revert to grid. Let's see what the uncovering footer looks like. Set it to yes, save changes, and go to the live site. Let's go up, then refresh the page. And then let's scroll all the way down to the footer. Now you can see what the uncovered footer looks like. It seems as if it's appearing from under your page content. However, we'll revert to the old settings. We will turn off this option and save changes. Show Footer Top allows you to choose if the footer will be displayed or not. If we turn it off for a second, save the changes, and go to the live site. Here's what it looks like. We're left with only footer bottom. Now I'll bring back the footer top. Further, we choose how many columns you'll have. Choose anything between 1 and 4. I will leave 4. We can choose alignment, default, left, right, center. We'll stick with left. Here we'll change the background color and then we can choose if we'll show footer bottom or not. Let's go with no. Save changes and refresh the live site. Wait a little bit to see the edits, and here's what no footer bottom looks like. I'll bring it back. Here you can also choose between 1, 2, and 3 columns, and select background color. Save changes. When we refresh, everything looks right. Now we'll go to widgets in the Appearance Widgets section. Here are the settings for the footer top. Each column is a separate widget area. The first thing we have here is the separator widget, which serves to add empty space in the footer. Next, there is an image. We will go to Replace Image so we can add our own logo. Just click on Add to Widget and save. Here you need to edit the link. We will put the link to our homepage. Save the changes and go to the live site. You can see our new logo. Up next is the text widget. Ordinary text widget you can easily edit. Next up is the Select Icon widget. So here in the footer we have a phone number, location, and working hours. You can change all of these details along the icon pack just like with all other icons on this theme. What we will change is the icon hover color. We'll enter the hex code for our theme color, save, and move on to the following icons. Let's go back to the home page and check what our footer looks like. You can see how our hover color has changed. Let's move on to the second column. We'll go to the backend. First, we'll close all the widgets from the previous column settings. Then we'll open the footer top column 2, where we have the Select Blog List widget. This is where the Select Blog List widget is located in our footer. Here you can change the title, choose simple or minimal type. Remember, we had a simple type in the sidebar. The number of posts is limited to 3. Space between items remains normal. You can choose the order of posts. You can select a category of posts to display. You don't have to display all the posts. You can also change the title tag. Let's scroll up and close all the tabs. Regarding the third column, here you can find recent projects. They were added to the widget as an archive, another thing we had in our sidebar. Finally, we'll move to the fourth column, which is the contact form. It was added as a Select Contact Form widget, which comes with default style settings. You can change the widget title. It looks like this. Here you can choose the form. Leave it at footer, and here are styles of forms. We'll leave the one we have here. That's it. Our contact form looks like we want it. Now go back to the backend and open the first footer bottom column. I will simply change the name in the text editor view. We'll switch your business name to InMotion and click Save. Let's go to the live site and refresh the page. Scroll to the footer, and here you'll find the text we just added. On the right side, we have the social icons. Let's check their widget. This is actually the second footer bottom column. The text says follow us. We will leave it. We also have 4 social icons. Settings don't differ from the other icons in this theme. Don't forget to add your own link here. The icon color is almost white, and we'll switch hover color to green using a hex code. I'll leave the margin as it is and save the edits. Now let's repeat this process for all the icons we have in this footer bottom. We'll change the hover color, and you'll also add links to your own social media pages. When you're done, save the changes, go back to the home page, and refresh. Let's hover over our icons. You can see the new hover color. Now let's scroll up to double-check our entire home page. Refresh and let's inspect. Okay, one thing we will change is the loader that appears while the slider is opening. It is not quite visible when we refresh the page, but we'll show you how to change the loader color. Let's go back to the backend and find Slider Revolution settings. In the Slider Revolution panel, click on Open in Editor. Wait a couple of moments for the settings page to load. In the main home slider, find the module General Options on the right side of the screen. Click on Spinner, and here you can change its color. I will set it to our default green color. Enter the hex code, save the settings, and go back to the main page. Let's refresh it and run the checks from top to bottom. Here's our first section with images and info on hover. Testimonial slider and event table are all set, as well as our icon section, BMI calculator, and classes timetable. Finally, here are the team section, process bar, and client section. Our footer is also looking good. That's it. Enjoy building your new site.